live episode of Andre The Beast Crayton with my beautiful co-host, Yolanda M. Smith, the philanthropist. I'm good at this.
You are good at it. I mean, it took you 3 seasons, but I swear, he got that intro down pat. Hey, Andre, what's up, baby?
What's up?
Hey, you know what? This has been an exciting day for us. We have a lot of going on.
Whew, too much going on.
Too much.
I got here at the studio at 8 o'clock, and it's now
probably about 3-4.
and we're still
What
rocking.
is it, 3? Yeah,
We're still rocking.
But that's how we do it, right?
And we never know who might walk through that door.
That's right. Because somebody just walked through it, and man, we got a live one today. Is this your buddy?
This is my buddy. Welcome all the way from Louisville, Chicago, the whole Midwest. My man, Sqooty1. What's up, dog?
How you feeling, bro? It feels good being here in person.
Okay.
The first time I came in, it wasn't in person, it was over Zoom call.
Yeah.
It was really good to see everybody in person, get a good vibe from you guys. I love the energy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's all good. I'm watching the video in the background, and I'm just, man, you just talented, man. I mean, we're gonna talk about these upcoming videos, your new album, a little bit of
Some wealth building.
And
a serious mindset about how overcoming.
man, Beast is definitely the new mindset with this guy right here.
He got a story. I was talking to him pre-show, and I'm so excited. I mean, literally, I'm excited because he done struck a nerve with me.
Oh,
and
God.
you know,
We're going to be a part 1 and part 2 today.
It might be.
Cut the clock off.
Because it's all about building that wealth mindset. So to just jump us off, what I'd like to do is let's give the audience, because we live, so let's give the audience a little bit of your background. Tell us a little bit about you. You know, you done some things, been through a few things, and definitely we'll get to the music part. But you are such a diverse
entrepreneur for real.
entrepreneurial mind. I love it.
He got you going like
I'm excited.
crazy.
I'm excited. Yes, because he's talking my language, and when I talk to him, and he know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
So welcome to the show.
My name is Sqooty. I'm from Chicago. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm of course, hip hop artist. I'm a retired U.S. Army veteran. Did my combat tour in Iraq and Afghanistan. Retired at age 29. Got my pension. Looking good still.
Yes, you do.
Real estate investor. Crypto stocks and stuff like that. Did not grow up with a silver spoon at all. Was homeless at one point, maybe twice in my life as a child and also as an adult after I got out the military. And yeah, I'm here. I'm here to, just spread the word of my story, really the truth of what wealth building or just overcoming obstacles in life really is, really. And that's what I'm here for, to spread the word right now.
That's huge because the Andre The Beast Crayton show is all about how you channel that inner beast to overcome, achieve, and be the best version of yourself that you can be. So this is so exciting.
I like the way you said that.
You like that? Now, if you asked me to repeat it, I bet I couldn't. That's the beauty of having an ad hoc opportunity. Can I just start? Because I know you want to get into that music thing, but I got to take it back for a second.
I want you to take it. Go.
Yeah, because I want to go back to grew up, no silver spoon. Let's talk about that and then how you got into the military. And then even after coming out of the military, I read a little bit about your story. There was even some challenges there with PTSD, things like that.
Yeah.
Because they can see where you are now, fine and sitting here. I mean, doing your darn thing. But
you don't got her worked up.
But we have to start somewhere, right? And that's the button your jacket, get comfortable.
Oh man. So I was born in Chicago in the 80s, late 80s, and I got 4 of the siblings. My mom, single mom. Dad was around until we moved to San Diego in '92, and then my mom got married to somebody else. Things didn't work out. We went through the foster care because my mom, she's schizophrenic and she couldn't take care of us anymore. So we became the ward of Las Vegas because we moved from San Diego to Las Vegas, and that's where they took us from my mom. We went through foster care. I had several foster parents.
Were the kids, did they get to stay together?
Yeah, so me, my brother Levi, we had the same foster parents, and then my sisters had their foster parent was related to our foster parents.
Okay.
So they kind of kept us close, but we was in a different household. But
Yes.
it was cool because we was always close still.
Yes, yes.
Now, when we decided to go to Chicago to live with my aunt, because she decided to get custody of us, all four of us went, but my older sister stayed, and she had her own reason to stay. And I, now that I look back and we talk all the time about it, I told her, like, I understand why you did that. I understand why you did that. Why you decided to stay. I understand, because when we came back to Chicago, I mean, it was I'd rather just be with my foster parents than be with the family I had in Chicago.
Mm.
And
for better opportunities, or
man, my mama's side is they ruthless, and we already went through so much. So it's just like one of those things where you kind of traumatized, because my first foster parent, I remember they hid me and my brother's gym shoes because my brother wasn't happy because they didn't celebrate his birthday. And it wasn't that he was upset with them; it was the point that he was used to my mom celebrating his birthday, and you get that trauma. And,
yeah.
It's tough, but it's just one of those things that we had to overcome. After that, and then once we got to my aunt's house, she's her way and stuff like that, and things went crazy. Found out my mom was a crackhead as well, on top of her being schizophrenic, and things happened.
Just tough.
Yeah, just tough. I mean, when I turned 18, I got a scholarship to play football. The problem is that I had to take out student loans. I didn't get a full ride. I got a partial scholarship.
Gotcha.
So around the summertime, after my first year in college. Well, let me take it back a little bit. I'll just say when I graduated from high school, the state of Nevada stopped compensating my aunt for having me because I was 18.
Yeah.
So it was either go to college, join the military, or whatever, because I didn't know I didn't have any guidance.
Right.
Even playing football, my coach was cool, but he didn't teach me like certain skill sets. I knew how to run. Yeah, I could catch a ball. I know how to.
But what about life, right?
Exactly.
What about life?
What about life? So once I went off to college, and I start seeing these college loans and this debt, I'm like, debt? It just sounds bad. I'm like, how do I debt? I'm like, just think about the word debt. Do it sound good? Even the first time I heard it, I'm like, debt? Cash sounds good. Asset sounds really good, but debt? Like, debt? I'm like, yo, what the hell is this debt shit? I'm like, when I gotta pay this back? I'm like, I'm 19, at the time I'm 18 years old, not understanding that I'm have to pay this shit back, and I don't know, excuse my language.
But how that's gonna happen, right?
Exactly, and I'm a guy that has no job, no money, nothing. Like, I come from nothing. I mean, living from sleeping in cars in Las Vegas and eating out of garbage cans, and then whatever. It's just like, yo, where the hell do I?
Where was your other family at? Because you mentioned your aunt. Where were they at before the foster care came into place?
My mom lost contact with a lot of my aunties and stuff like that, and
Okay.
the only reason they found out about us being in Vegas in foster care because I don't know how they did it, but they eventually found out. Maybe my mom had their numbers or something like that, or something. I don't know, but
eventually somebody found resources to get to them.
Because like when we was in Vegas, when they took us, like we didn't have any records, Social Security cards, birth certificates, so they had to find everything. We had to start all over when we moved to Chicago and go get all my shots from you, baby.
Yeah.
You get all that. And I'm 13, like, I gotta get all this. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, what? I did this already. Like, I gotta do this shit again? You be like, what the fuck? Like, come on, yo. Like, I know y'all got records somewhere. You can look me up. They have technology, but,
Yeah.
But because your mom had went into a state of schizophrenic, there was no way of really researching the records right now. So how long were you in the foster care before they actually found the records or found a way to contact your family?
Yeah.
So I believe, I don't know exactly how they did it, but from what I understand from my aunt told me some years ago, it was like after I turned 18, she was like, she still had to get our records when we got to Chicago because she didn't have it.
Right.
They didn't have she had to get our actual real birth certificate, social security cards, and all that stuff. The Vegas didn't have that because we were born in Chicago. The only sibling that was born outside Chicago was my youngest brother Dexter, which is, he go by Shot Blanco, shout out. He was born in San Diego, so like they had to literally
go back and dig up some records. So how long did you stay in the foster care before your aunt came?
February of 1999 to November, so I'd say about 10 months.
Okay, so not a long
It wasn't
time.
very long, but it was it
Long
sucked.
enough. It felt like a long time.
It sucked because it's like I was so used to seeing having my mom,
Yeah.
and things happen so fast to where it's like your brain, you gotta think about it. Everything started happening when I was 12. I'm like, we moving around too much. It's inconsistent.
Yeah.
I don't have my toys no more.
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, damn, why we staying with friends now? Like, what the hell's going on? I was so used to my mom being able to have a place and have our own, and it was weird because I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
When did you find out? When did somebody physically come back and diagnose and tell you
that she had schizophrenia?
Yeah, she had schizophrenia.
This happened this is years after this. I say around 2002.
Oh wow!
Wow,
Yeah,
so you never
So
knew
she
it
probably didn't even know what was going on.
We had an idea, like me and my sister, we had an idea, like, because my mom,
Something right.
yeah, cause my mom, we'd be in the grocery store, and this is after her divorce, and she'd be like, yo, they talking about us. I'm like, what are you talking about, Mom? I'm like,
I'm laughing.
I'm like 11 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, I'm like, these white people, they don't know us.
Right.
And we in San Diego, so I'm like, Mom, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then, that's when it all started, the whole.
And then it progressed, and
And it
that's
got
not,
worse.
believe it or not, that's not that uncommon. At a certain age, I had a friend that experienced similar things, and she was cool as a fan all through high school. We grew up, hung out, did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she hit at some point, and I think it might have been late 20s into her 30s or something. Then all of a sudden things started to change.
Yeah.
And the same thing, she started hearing these voices and people talking to her. And if you look at the statistics, it's a real thing where it's more prevalent than I think we know.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the crazy thing about that was what and this is like 2015, and this is right after my retirement out the Army, and I'm actually having conversations with my mom every day. We call and talk every day. But my mom, she's currently in a mental institute, but she's criminally insane. She had an incident in 2007 where some people were killed because she actually started a fire and people got killed from it. So
Wow.
and it made CNN. I'm in Iraq when this shit happened, so you already know.
Oh.
We all fucked up by it, right? But in 2015, my mom, we just talking, then she got to telling me her story from before I was born, before my sister was born, older sister. It's 5 of us. And the shit she told me was like, damn, you was bound to be this way. Based on what happened to you when you was a teenager, like molestation from her, family members and getting beat by men. Like, I'm supposed to have other siblings, but because somebody threw her down some stairs and crushed her stomach, they not here. So it's like, you like, damn, she been through some shit. And I didn't know, I'm just a kid, not knowing.
You didn't know that, yeah.
But when, at 29 and you kind of understand, because I went through my own shit in the military and even growing up a little bit, I don't know, it just caught me by surprise. I'm just like,
And it gives you a different level of empathy
it does.
for her, because when you, and this goes across the board, when you don't know somebody's story, when you have not walked in their shoes, we can be quick to judge people.
Oh, definitely.
We
do that
can be
every day.
super quick to judge people, but have no idea of the things that they've experienced.
Yeah.
And that's why I say all the time, it costs nothing to be kind.
Oh, exactly.
Nothing to be kind, because you just don't know.
So when did it change?
As far as what? As far as
Like, you went to the military. Where did the guidance actually?
I want to know
Who stepped up to the guidance?
Where'd you get this drive from?
Yeah. Who stepped up to the plate?
So what happened is, when I was in college and I was I signed up for the Army, but I didn't know if I wanted to do it for real. I just needed guidance. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And the summer 2005, I'm sitting in my Aunt Kat's house. She got her daughter and her grandkids living there. My siblings, the ones left, my brother Levi, Tiffany, and Dexter. You got like 2 different families. My mom's staying there because she's a crackhead. She's
In and out,
whatever. So it's like, I'm just sitting there in that summer 2005 trying to get a job. I couldn't get a job. I'm like, I just need a job before I go to basic training. I couldn't get a job. And I said, it was the most miserable fucking summer of my fucking life. Like, I couldn't make any money. I'm
in a house with a ton of people, and it's dysfunctional.
Exactly. The energy, I'm like, yo.
You're getting drained.
Yeah. So I remember my Aunt Kat was telling me, Dorrell, you sure you want to do this? I say, Aunt Kat, if I got to go and fight a fucking war to get out this house, I will do it. I said, I can't be here. I said, I don't want to fucking be here. This is not what this is not life. This is not living. That's why when I went off to college, I went off to Iowa, where I can get different aspects of life, culture and stuff like that, because I knew what was in Chicago in the hood. I just saw people getting killed around me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like most of my friends were dead the year after we graduated. And then when I got to the Army, I mean, you got bullshit because you learning
to kill.
And that I was.
And you're dealing with other people's situations too.
Right, but the thing about the Army thing, so that summer, I said, look, I can't be here. I said, I gotta go. Recruiter came to pick me up August 9th, August 10th. I'm in Fort Benning, Georgia, to be an infantryman. Combat, front lines. That was my job in the Army. I did 11 years of that shit. Do I regret it? No, because it set me up for what I am today. I needed that push. Because I believe it or not, I'm still sensitive. Don't get me wrong, I'm tough. Yeah. But deep inside, like, I'm still a kid. Yeah. Like, I still collect action figures. It's a hobby of mine.
Which action figures?
Yeah, I do. I got wrestlers, I got Batman, I got Power Rangers. I don't got a whole bunch of them, but I got enough of them to make me happy because that's
your happy place.
Exactly. It brings back, like, the childhood I didn't have.
Yeah.
So for my kids, because I have 2 of them, like, I tell them all the time, like, yo, enjoy you being a child right now. Like, like, enjoy it, because when you get grown, man, look.
It's a ball game.
Pops ain't, I can help, but nigga, look, you gotta take care of yourself. Yeah. But it was that summer 2005, and that just being miserable and looking around at the people around me, they miserable. I'm like, this is not life.
And it changed. Because it has to be something.
Yeah, it clicked.
That clicks. Yeah.
It clicked, and I'm like, this is not living, G. I'm looking at my mom. She's, whatever. Yeah. My aunt kept yelling because she's miserable. She ain't got.
Because she got all y'all up in her house too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the other thing.
And she's only getting paid for 3 of them. I'm already graduated, so I'm like, shit.
He's like, when you gonna leave?
Right.
And you eat the most. No, just kidding.
And you know what's funny? So like, and it's crazy because when I signed up for the Army, I supposed to got $10,000 signing bonus, right? So when I went to it's funny because my aunt Kat, some of her tire broke on a vehicle. She had this old ass like Chevette or some shit. And I'm trying to take the thing off, but I'm stripping the bolts because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But guess what? Here comes the recruiter in his new Dodge car, like, hey, you ready to go? I'm like, it's time for me to go? He said, yeah, it's August 9th, 2005. He's like, yo, it's time to go. Fly out tomorrow. I say, really? He said, yeah. I say, okay, I gotta go. I ain't got no money to help you with the car thing, but
you don't strip the car.
I'm like, I can't. Look, I was sweating. All I had on was a white beater. No, I had an all white t-shirt on, some blue jean shorts, and I wore this shit damn near every day. That's how poor I was. I was wearing the same shit every day, and I literally would hand wash my clothes and dry them outside. That's how poor we were. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
What you do, you can be poor, but you ain't gotta be dirty.
Exactly.
Gotta know. Okay.
So
you can be dirty.
So, and it's funny because when I got on we took me to O'Hare Airport because they gave me a hotel room, and then the next day, I flew out and it's funny because I met a couple people that I got into when I was in high school. There's one kid.
You don't want to go.
I beat the shit out of this dude. I beat the fuck out of this dude, man. I mean, I fucking beat the shit out of him. He was bigger. He was a lot bigger than me. Really? But it was awkward just watching him walk through the hallway, and I've already signed my paperwork to go, and he just looked at me like, this motherfucker. And I look at him like, this motherfucker. And I'm just like, and I felt bad because I beat the fuck out. I mean, he had a concussion.
Oh, wow.
His mom put me, arrested me and shit. I was angry. Out of all my siblings, like, I'm the oldest boy, but like, I'm the shortest one. All my other brothers, the youngest ones, they're taller than me. They're bigger, but they would try, but then they'd be like, nah, don't piss him off too much. Because he go like, I got a temper. But it was awkward. But then when I went to basic training, the first couple weeks I got there was processing paperwork, taking shots. And I remember this one guy, he actually jumped off the 3rd level and committed suicide right in front of me, and I'm just like, what? Yeah, his whole shit was just back his head.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So I'm looking like,
So did somebody force him to go or something? He must have been.
No, I guess he thought he was gonna get that money. You know, because you gotta get life insurance when you're in the army. You know, when you sign up, you gotta get their life insurance, $400,000. So that was one of.
Oh, he wasn't planning on killing himself. We don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, we in wartime. You can go get yourself killed overseas and die honorably if you want. But why would you kill yourself before you even graduate basic? Right. That don't make any sense. So, and this is what fucked me up too. The next day, the drill sergeants come out. They're like, "Oh yeah, he'll be fine." You know, I'm like,
"Oh, he lived?"
No, he died.
No,
he died.
Yeah, they just saying that to them
to make us feel better.
Right.
I got you.
So it's like they put that little band-aid, like, okay, we know y'all might be traumatized a little bit, but we gonna try to, you know, whatever. But that's just how it was. You know, when I was in basic training, you know, you couldn't. I mean, it was a shark attack. I mean, it was, you know, wartime, so you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't be sensitive. You couldn't be none of that bullshit. You couldn't.
You just had to go hard.
You just had to go. Like anything, issues that went on at home, that shit didn't matter because that's at home.
So you did 10 years.
I did 11 years. Yeah.
11 years, and then you came out in what?
Retired. I came out in 2015. Well, 2016 actually. So I did a combat tour in Iraq. That was like 18 months. I did another combat tour in Afghanistan. That was 12 months. And I stayed on for about 3 or 4 more years after that. And then I worked a regular job. But at the time, when I was in Iraq, my first deployment, that's when I really started messing with the music. Okay. So a buddy of mine was like, and he wasn't even a buddy of mine. He actually outranked me. He was a sergeant. I was only like a specialist. He was E6, I was E4. And I used to always freestyle. And he was like, "Hey man, come to the room and, you know, my trailer, we can, you know, see if we can do something." So I would just freestyle over the beat and he'll just record it. And he was like, "Yo, that sounds good, but where's the hook?" And I'd be like, "Hook for what?" He said, "The song." I'm like, "I don't even think about hook. I'm just flowing." He said, "That's good, but you learn, you know." So he showed me how to count bars. And it's funny, through some of the recordings that we did, is that you can hear the helicopters flying over us. You get the rocket attacks coming in, like rocket attack, like all type of shit.
Oh,
so it's
my
like,
goodness.
And then it's funny because it was sometimes we'll go because we actually was I was part of the group that guarded Saddam Hussein the last 3 months of his life. And we escorted him to the gallows where he hung. So like that was significant because we lived in this palace too as well. So when we lived in this palace, I used to be in the palace recording. And my lieutenant like, "God damn it, Steph, turn that shit off." I'm like, I can't. I'm like, that's me. I can't stop talking and rapping. I'm like, it's my voice, you know. But it was interesting, you know, being able to guard Saddam and still, you know, do the music thing. Even though I wasn't really doing it, I was just finding something, an outlet, because that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
You know, just an outlet because I was dealing with, you know, combat. I'm dealing with, you know, personal shit that I can't really deal with because I'm over here.
Exactly.
And you still talking to your mom too, right? Daily? You said you were still communicating with your mom?
Yeah, I was at the time. No, I wasn't. During that time frame, I was only in combat. Like, I was only able to call home maybe. Well, in Iraq, I was able to call home like once a day, but I didn't call home that often because I just want to focus on my job and I didn't want nothing to stress me out.
Right.
I got back. I say around March 2007 when the incident happened with my mom. I went on leave, and literally the day my brother picked me up from the airport, he's like, "Yo, mom in jail for murder." I'm like, "What?" I think he's joking. He's like, "Nah, man, she." I'm like, who, what happened? Like, what they do? I'm thinking, you know, I don't know, actually, she set a fire and 4 white people died. I said, 4 white people. I said,
y'all said, live, y'all.
I said, she killed 4 white people in North Side Chicago. I said, "Oh shit."
I cannot.
The worst part was when days later, I'm actually at the barbershop. I was getting my hair cut then when I was a kid. And this guy I never met a day in my life. The lady that owns the barbershop, she went to our church. I went to Catholic churches out there in Chicago. She knew me. She knew who I was. And the guy was like, "You heard about, you know, Mary Smith?" That's my mother's name. And "Yeah, man, you know, we heard set that fire." And I'm just looking. I'm like, I'm ready to fuck him up. So I'm just like, I'm cringing in my seat. And Miss Leverett, she comes by, she said, relax. I said, "Okay." He don't know. I said, "Okay." And just hearing that from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, different story.
Yeah, that's hard.
It fucks with you. So yeah.
So let's talk about, okay, so you came out, and then how did you then start to develop this whole wealth mindset mentality and get yourself on a trajectory where you would never, or God's will is you will never live in poverty again and can elevate and move forward?
Well, it started when I started, so right before, like right when I got off active duty, I was still in the National Guard part-time. When I started doing music, I started seeing the royalty checks coming in after I released the song on TuneCore. So, yeah, so I was like, okay.
Royalty checks.
Yeah, so I started, so I'm looking, I'm like, I got an extra $100 coming in. And then I'm looking at my TuneCore account, I'm like, oh, they just paid me $5. So I'm like, if I keep doing this, maybe I can, that's when I started learning about compound interest and actually royalties and stuff like that. So then I start, going on YouTube, learning more about royalties and assets and stuff like that, and how your music is intellectual property.
That's right.
So when I started doing that, I say, okay, so I can make money off it. Even if I don't make a lot of money off of it, I can still make something that's going to be residual. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing that. And then when I started, doing that, I started learning about. Once I figured out how to get out the Army, once they retired me, and I was able to get that residual income out of that, I was like, so they're going to pay me $5,000 a month to sit on my ass tax free the rest of my life. I said, so I can do whatever I want now. So then I started going on YouTube, watching things about real estate. I bought my first house when I was like in my 20s, lived in it for a while, and my realtor, I told her, I said, how can I get into real estate? And she was like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to buy a house, I want to get rich. Of course, she sent me to this thing called, I think Nada's or something, Nada in Chicago. It's a real estate investing company, and they got a thing where you got to pay like $21,000 just to get the educated. And I was like, yo, I'm not doing that shit. There got to be another way for me to learn this shit. So I never talked to her again. I sold my house. I sold my house in 2019. Right after I sold my house, I went on tour with Eric and Rakim. I put my house on the market, and then
because you still doing your music,
right? I'm still doing my
definitely.
Music. So I'm still doing my music because I'm getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm investing my own money into the music industry. I mean, the music industry is not cheap. If you want to be famous, only way it's going to happen if somebody going to invest in you or you invest in yourself. The way it goes, you got to start with you.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, everything starts with you, the individual. It don't matter what happens.
No matter what you do, that's a word. Say it
start
again.
with you regardless.
Okay.
Like, you have to do something. You got to light the fucking fire in you to do and release that song or find these deals or whatever. It has to start with you. Like, no one's going to just come up and say, hey, yeah, we want to give you a record deal. No, that's not how it works. You got to put yourself out there. So, after used to put myself out there, I went on tour with Eric B, Rakim, and Jazzo, the relationship with them, and at the time I was selling my house. I went to a real estate course with Andrew Holmes, and his thing was a little different. He had packages from $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And I'm like, I brought something to him. I say, hey, what if I come and work for you for free? Can you teach me everything I need to know about real estate? I said, you ain't got to pay me. I got my own money. I got my own car. I got my own shit. I say, show me. He was like, nah, you gotta either bring a deal to me, whatever. So I was like, okay. So I got in an argument with somebody, left.
You get in a lot of arguments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rebellious, man. I don't like no.
Okay.
Like, I get told no all the time. Believe it or not, like, my story isn't like I got rich and
you got a lot of no's before you got a lot of
no's. Like,
you made your yeses, but you got a lot of no's.
Life told me no.
Okay. I got you.
Success
So
told me
you
no.
had to make a yes.
Yes, I had to create my own yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to go around. So this is why I ended up coming to Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
This is what changed things for me. I'm leaving Chicago, and I'm heading to see my sister in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. I'm driving over the bridge. Of course, I come through Indianapolis first.
Yeah.
Never thought about Indianapolis, but once I came through Louisville, I'm looking. I'm like, these little ass houses. I'm like, who the fuck live in these little things, right? So I Googled, once I get to my sister's house, we say hugs and all that stuff, and I Googled and I say, let me look up the local real estate investor associations out here. They had a meeting the next day. So I went to one. I met a guy, had 88 properties. I told him my story. I said, look, man, I don't know anything about real estate. I bought a house, I sold one, but you know, I don't know how it is to be an investor. Can you show me and teach me? He said, and I told him that, you know, a guy in Illinois wanted 10, 20, 30 grand. I'm like, I don't believe with that amount of money, it's worth that because I can buy a deal with that. He said, just because you said that, I'm gonna teach you for free.
Wow.
Because I knew, in my mind, my intuition is like, why would I pay you for something that I can learn on my own? Yes, I'm gonna make more mistakes on my own. Right. However, why would I give you 10 grand? Why would I give you 20 grand, 30 grand for you to teach me?
The only way you would do that as a coach, I would say the only way you would do that is if he's really got social proof and can show you that he's done and he is where you want to be. And if you could go further faster.
Right, and he did.
Then it would be worth it.
And yeah, he did. But I'm not about to take out a loan.
No. I'm not.
Right.
Well, that's good debt though. And okay, so let's talk about this because I remember you said debt.
Right.
Sometimes our relationship with debt is very interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because when we think of debt, we think fearful. But if it's debt on consumables, that's not good. You're right. But debt on assets is always a good thing.
Right.
You know?
So the asset would be him training me.
Yeah. You invested in yourself.
Right. But the funny thing about that is the guy in Louisville
was willing to do it for free.
Because I was persistent at finding the right mentor that would charge me enough. And guess what? The same, and you know where he learned his stuff from? Andrew Holmes.
Really?
Yes. Andrew Holmes actually came out to Louisville, and I got the class for free because I was part of the local CREA thing, which only paid $125 a year to be part of, to get the same information you would charge everybody in Chicago $30,000 for.
Wow.
So that's why I challenge you and say persistence and patience is where you want to be at.
Yeah.
Because I had 30 grand. I had like $55,000 in the bank.
Yeah, but you're not gonna give all your money.
Exactly. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
When I could go get the information for someone else that probably and I ain't gotta go to the biggest head. I could go to someone that got 10 properties. I just need experience. Mm-hmm. I just need to get around the lenders. I need to get around these other people that can help me close these deals. Matter of fact, let me find me a wholesaler. Cause I'm lazy. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little lazy. You know, like being retired, you get lazy. You be like, I ain't gotta do this shit. I get my alarm goes
off. About being retired,
dude,
and you
I
still
get a
in your 30s.
Exactly. So I'm retired from.
He said, I get a pension.
Yeah, dude, they pay me really good. No, they really do. Trust me, my pension is fucking awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate that because your service was awesome. Your service was awesome.
Exactly. I got set on fire, blown up, and shot. So yeah, that's why they pay me what they pay me. They have to. Yeah. So it's like, what I realize is that nothing's wrong with paying for it. No. If you got it, go for it. Yeah. Me personally, I'm trying to find another way. Even if it takes me a little longer to get the information and start investing, that's fine. But I gotta do it at my terms. I gotta make sure that it's for me.
Well, and you gotta be comfortable.
Exactly.
You know, we say all the time, there's nothing wrong with being a copycat. You just gotta copy the right cat.
Exactly.
You know, and then you gotta
be. I like the way you said that.
Yeah, and you gotta be comfortable in what you want to do. I actually stole that from Spectacular Smith, but that's okay. That's my godson. So it's kind of funny because at the end of the day, you know, you got to do what's comfortable for you. Yeah. You know, but one of the things we do know, still you were willing to invest in yourself, and that's the first step. Because you'd be surprised how many people
don't
will not even entertain the idea of taking their money and investing in themselves. Yep. But you'll take that money and do everything else with it, as even give it away before you even pour into your own self.
And they can't tell you why either. They can't tell you why.
No, it's just because we're conditioned. It's just the way it goes back to the mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and I say this, kudos to you for being able to release yourself, because really the way you were raised and where you came up, you should have had a very fixed mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that you were to break out with that and have the growth mindset that you have today to get you to where you are, that is remarkable.
And still developing.
Oh, totally. I mean, he's in his third. He has the world's still his oyster.
Yeah.
Retired or not, that's just additional income.
Right, that's all.
You ain't retired.
Exactly.
You just got additional income. But again, that pay you for life. You know what I'm saying? So you think about that and think about the other streams of income, because you mentioned residual income.
Yeah,
we talked about passive income. Some people don't know about these streams of income, but if you work on traditional passive residual weight income, I mean, this is the stuff that creates the generational wealth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, powerful.
And it's funny because right before, I remember I told you guys right before we started the show, I told you I was at a meeting with my legal shield team.
Yes.
And a lot of people be like, legal shield, ain't that a multi-level marketing? I say, yeah. But believe it or not, I learned a lot of skill sets as far as being an entrepreneur from those people in network marketing, from the people that earns $1 million a year doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my first 6 months, I earned what, $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know anything about the company. I just went and went with it. And the funny thing about it is, you know, my first real estate deal, I bought my first building. I bought my first house for like $10,000. I put out of the $55,000 I had, I put another $10,000 into it. Remember, I told you the guy wanted $30K for a thing, right? But the guy showed me for free. All he wanted for me to do is take him out for lunch. That's how you build relationships.
No, yes.
And that's my thing. I'm not comfortable spending money with somebody that I never built a relationship with at first.
Absolutely.
So I have to be able to feel comfortable with giving
That's
me my
true.
money.
That's true.
So I bought this man a cheeseburger from Dairy Queen. And with all the information he gave me, I earned over, in the last 3 years, I earned over $600,000 off the information he gave me. Just him sitting down and taking me through Louisville and showing me about the property and teaching me about what real leverage is.
Wow. That's a good
$600,000? Exactly.
Yeah.
$600K in 3 years.
Yeah.
And he died last year. He died in January 2022 because of COVID, and I actually got in a car accident a couple days later. But the point is that the thing he instilled in me, the knowledge he gave me, I still have it recording on my phone, on this phone right here.
Mm-hmm.
I play it to remind myself, like, yo, leverage. It's not about how much money, it's about how much leverage you have.
That's right.
Money don't mean shit if you ain't got relationships or leverage.
That's right. That's
You
right.
gotta have both of those things. You
You're
can't have
right.
one without the other. You gotta have them both. You're not gonna win in life like that.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? That's like when I talk to people, I say, look, I've always tried to give people compliments when I talk to them. Even if I'm doing 100 million streams on YouTube and, you know, they don't know that, okay, you're this rapper, because people say, look at my music, they say, you look totally different. That's not you. No, that's me.
Right.
That's just another version of myself that,
That's right.
you know, when I'm on here, it's different. It's the same guy. It's just.
We're talking to the businessman, the music.
Exactly.
There you're entertaining.
Right.
Yes.
You're talking to the real person right here. That's me. That's real too. But this is who I really am.
Yes.
That's what you're getting, is the guy that's excited to talk about life. The excitement of just being able to, you know, at one point when I couldn't even afford a bar of soap at one point in my life. You know what I'm saying? To where I could buy multiple of them. You know, I could do what I want.
Oh God.
You know, like I came from driving, you know, putts. I'm driving a Lexus now.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in my dream home already, and I'm about to buy another one.
Yeah.
You know, so I've had plenty of those things. So it's like I'm not a materialistic person.
Right.
It's just now that I understand how money really works
Yes.
and how people really work. Because we're all, if you think about it, as human beings, we go iffy. We, you know, things happen in our lives to where we can't do things, or I'm not gonna say can't. I'm gonna say where we have our little minor setbacks in life.
There you go.
To where we may not be able to do something at that time. However, just wait and be patient, because the time's gonna come.
Yes.
I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
And the reason I say, and we spoke about this a couple months ago, because I was coming here a couple months ago and things happened. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just come back when you know, it's not a big deal, because I'm gonna always be around. Like I know you're gonna always be around, because I know you have the ability to create what you're gonna create, and I have the ability to create what I'm gonna create. We're gonna bring it together and create something even better.
That's right. So speaking of that, then what's next? Where do you see yourself going? What we got on the horizon right now?
Okay, so I am dropping a mixtape, and
Maybe we can roll it up.
that song on there, Staples on there. I mean, it's funny because I talked to Pope on the phone the other day, and I was like, man, like, hey, bro, like, I'm like, I want to do something different. He said, hey, you ever thought about dropping a mixtape? I said, bro, I've been telling you about that for the last 3 years. I know you.
You just not listening.
You're just not listening. And he like, yeah, but you gotta do the singles first because you gotta get the interest. I said, yeah, I know, I get it. And I said, what do I need to do? I said, like, how much is it gonna cost me for marketing and all? He said, yo, you ain't gotta worry about a big budget for that because you already did all the marketing with the songs.
Yeah.
Just put the same song that you released on the project, and it's gonna come. Just make sure you know, do the blogs and all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, bet. Say less. Doing it. got the release date, you know, whatever, and you know, from there, you know, I'm just excited to actually put out another body of work. The last time I put out a mixtape was like 2018.
Okay.
A lot has changed since 2018.
Yeah, you got a lot to write about.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, I'm barely scratching the surface on this mixtape, but it's just to keep people excited, just so when I do drop the real project, because the real project, you talking about 444 Jay-Z, like yo, I drop gems for real in my own little special way because I'm very animated. You know,
yes, you are.
But you know,
in a good way.
In a good way, right? So it's like, you know, it's just one of those things where I'm excited because it's like, you know, you have that heavy thing on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And you just like, man, you just like you want to ask permission, but you don't have to ask. You gotta actually, you just give yourself permission to do it.
There you go.
Versus asking someone, you know, is it safe to do this?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not
taking that risk on you.
Yeah, and I've always been that way. It just
Yeah.
and when it comes to marketing, that's never been my thing.
Yeah.
I know how to talk to people. I know how to, you know, I'm an empath. I can feel you, literally feel you.
Yeah.
If you tell me something about your past, I can literally put myself there and understand where you came from.
Yeah.
And feel it like it's mine.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to stop doing that all the way because sometimes I go too deep in it.
Because you gotta watch what you allow in your spirit.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So I've been watching that, and I've been in therapy because I had traumas, you know,
good for you.
Anniversaries from the combat stuff.
And this is good because there's nothing wrong with therapy, and oftentimes
I just went to therapy the other day.
African Americans think that therapy is taboo, but I think we're getting better at accepting it. But having a good, wholesome mind
is good.
Oh my God, mental wellness. I don't say it. Mental wellness is important. So kudos to you. I like you.
And you know what's funny? The session I had this Wednesday is what made I'm able to do this right now, because I realized so many years I was angry, and it wasn't because I was just mad. It was because I was scared.
Yeah.
And I hid that fear with anger because I didn't want to be taken advantage of. Of course, like I screwed out of my $10,000 signing bonus with the Army.
Yeah.
I done some bad businesses with people that screwed me over money.
Yes, and it's gonna happen.
It does. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, you know, where like Wednesday, and my therapist was like, "Good job." She finally said, "Good job" for the first time. I'm just like, "Good job for what?" She said, "You finally getting there," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're saying."
And you
How
have
long have you been going to therapy? Just out of curiosity.
Huh?
How long have you been attending therapy? Just out of curiosity.
Man, I've been going to therapy since 2012.
Good for you.
It's not easy, man. Like,
I know.
No, because it makes you dig deep.
Yeah,
it makes you dig deep about yourself.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I'm so excited to have had you on the show today, because the truth of the matter is we all have a story. I'm a branding expert.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I say is that the truth is it's all about connection.
Yeah.
And people, when they feel like they know you, they know your story. Those are the people that are going to hire you, promote you, do business with you, engage with you, you know, the whole thing. And, excuse me, you can do anything you want to do, but without that story, you really don't have a brand.
Yeah.
And without that brand, people don't understand the value that you can deliver. And you just opened up a whole new world right here.
Yeah. Look, she was like totally excited. Like
within this last almost 45 minutes. It was supposed to be a 30-minute show. We allowed it to run over just because it was flowing.
I'm sorry.
But no, this is good. This is good. But seriously, your story has so many facets to it that I guarantee you will help so many people understand that your past doesn't have to dictate your future.
And sometimes your past can put you to where you're at now. You refuse to allow your past to be the stumbling block. You put those and you kept going. And I mean, when we met, it was just like you said. Sometimes you just got to reach out to people just to see. When you reach back out to me, I was like, wow, you got to reach back out. And it was just that one creative song where you was on the toilet. And I was like, you know,
what are you doing on the toilet?
Well, that's what treatment. That shows it's artwork. Because I was like, I don't usually look at stuff, and I'm like looking. I was like, what is this? And the beat came up, and I was like, okay. So I kept listening, but the creativity is what captured me. Because you was talking about what do we talk about, and I was like, okay, this whole thing is like flowing. And when I reached out to you about coming on to the first season, I was like, man, this guy is really coming on the show.
Really?
I wish we could have got deeper at the time, but now we did get a chance. We got
This
to
is
reconnect.
awesome. No, because
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're letting people understand who you are. And, you know, while this is on Facebook today, you know, we'll stream this out. We'll package this up in the real podcast way.
Yeah.
And this streams out to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Now, how can people stay in touch with you? That's important.
Well, the best way is I'm on Instagram, I'm
Okay.
on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. So my thing is Sqooty1, which is SQOOTY1 at Instagram, Twitter. On Facebook, I go through my regular name because I'm an investor, but I also have my music page. So I'll give y'all my regular name. It's
That's-
Dorrell Smith, Dorrell Scoop Smith. I'm a Smith.
I'm a Smith.
I know.
So Smith's a coot.
Smith, I love Smith. And,
Okay, so wait a minute. Let's get it. Oh, we'll put it on the Lord Third, and what we'll do is we'll also drop it in the comments because Dorrell is Dorrell.
Yes,
Correct?
ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Dorrell Smith.
Yep.
Wow, what a pleasure to have you. And that's Sqooty with a S to the Q. Did you say to the Q?
SQOOTY #1.
Sqooty1.
Now, before we leave off, we got to talk about this video. I've been intrigued with this
See, they
video.
can't see it though. Your people can't see
We're
it.
gonna stream it where they can see it. We'll send a link so they can see it. So tell me about this new song that you got out and stuff. Set it up a little bit, E, so we can get
So,
man.
I remember when I made the song, I recorded this in New York at Quad Studios, the same studio where Tupac was shot at.
Really?
Yeah. So it was me, Jazzo. You remember Jazzo, the Hawaiian Sophie?
Right.
So Jazzo was my mentor for a while, just like he was Jay-Z's first mentor. Ain't that crazy how that works?
I believe your next album will be with Jay-Z.
I got a song in there.
Boom.
I already got that in the word. I got stuff with Lil Durk. It's all in the vault.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the right
Right
time.
moment, yeah.
Yeah.
But without having Jazzo with me, losing. The funny thing is, I sent Jazzo a song back in 2019. We went on tour with Airbnb and Rakim. It was like March of 2019. He finally was like, "Hey, Scoop, this is like September 2020." He like, "Yo, let's go ahead and knock out our song." I'm like, "Man, it's been a year and a half."
But I'm
I don't
aware.
even
I
remember
see
the
you
song.
say,
I
wait a
literally
minute.
recorded the song, sent it to him, like, "Yo, just throw your verse on it." It took him a year and a half to be like, "Yo, let's do it." So I'm just like, "Yo, what's wrong with this nigga, man?" I'm like, "Yo." So we go to the studio, we do the joint with him on there, and then I had this song, and I remember doing it, and Jazz, because I think I recorded like 5 or 6 songs and stuff like that on our whole entire session, and Jazz was like, "Yeah, I like this shit. This shit gangster." He said, "It's that Brooklyn shit right here." I'm like, "Well, I'm not even from Brooklyn. I'm from Chicago." The point that he said that was like, okay. And then
I gotta do it.
And then when a few months later, I met this guy named Alizé, and he put me into the track masters, Pope, and Pope selected the song to be the first single we dropped under, with him and all that. I said, "I ain't bad." And I'm in Cabo with my girl while we having this call. We on vacation. He's like, "Yo, Scoop, make sure you got the YouTube links and all this." I say, "All right, bro. I'm in the middle of the ocean." and the signal about to fall. I'm just like, "Oh shit, I ain't got no signal. Let me make sure you get to it." I'm all rushing and stuff. So it came like that, and then he really like did the video, his idea for the video. He got a good eye,
It's excellent.
He's a beast. He does all my videos from 2021 all the way to now. That's him. All this is him. Stay
Amazing.
up. He sends me the action for it. He sends me the game plan,
Yes.
and it looks so Hollywood. And I be like, "Yo."
He's the real.
And I keep forgetting, I keep forgetting like this dude sold 150 million records.
Yeah. There you go.
J-Lo and Biggie Smalls.
He's professional.
Right, and I'm like, and is it cheap? No, I'll be real with you. I spent over 6 figures on my music career.
Yeah.
Have I made that much? No, I haven't. However, I will. I'm going to recoup that.
There
Trust
you
me.
go. There you
I
go.
will recoup that.
That's the investment you chose to know. You're gonna use
Exactly.
real estate the easy way. You're gonna invest this
And
way.
you know what's funny about the money? How I funded this? I funded this with some of the equity I had in my real estate business.
There you
with
go.
cash flow.
There you go.
So that's how I use leveraged income
Yes.
to
Yes.
fund the things that I
That's
love
right.
to do.
That's
So,
right.
And people fail to realize you got to hire. These are actors and
Yes.
actresses.
And you got to pay them.
You got to pay them.
Yes.
They're not just going to dance in your video.
No. And then on record, and this is what people need to understand. like I said earlier, you gotta put yourself out. You gotta light the fire in yourself. You're
Yes.
not gonna get any deal from anyone if you're not gonna put the work in. It just don't happen that way. It's not. It's impossible. I mean, if you do, then you're just one of a billion people that is gonna happen to. But no, in real life,
No, yeah.
you gotta light that fire and say, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
But you know what? You're a good example of what it can be, right?
Oh, yeah. Thank
For a lot of people.
That's a
So as we get ready to wrap up, because we do have to.
Beast mode.
Yeah, because we are on Facebook at the 15-minute mark. Because this is great. But what advice? Okay, you said light the fire, but if you really think about, if you were speaking to someone young who may have experienced some childhood trauma, who may be trying to figure out what's next,
A direction.
what advice could you give somebody?
It's fun. I just had this conversation with my therapist, and she asked me the same thing. And I'm just go and answer like I answered it to her. She's asked me about me talking to my 19-year-old self.
Okay, there you go.
And I would tell myself, if I was talking to a 19-year-old person who's only 18, I would tell them, yo, do something or don't do nothing. You're gonna go through struggles regardless. So it's best to fulfill what you want and go and shoot for the stars than not shoot for anything and have regrets about not doing anything. Because I don't have any regrets at all. Do I wish I'd have made some different decisions? Yeah, but those are not the regrets.
That's
those are
growth.
just
That's
that's just you self-analyzing and critiquing. Like, okay, I could do that differently. But if I didn't do what people told me, now you should do that, but I did it anyway. And sometimes I had to, come with your heartaches. Been married, divorced, whatever. I mean, it's life.
Yes.
Just do it anyway, because you're not going to live and be fulfilled until you actually do it. It don't matter how old or how young you are. If you're the youngest person in here, you can teach me something. If I'm the oldest person, I'm not too old to learn.
That's right.
You feel
There
me?
you go. I feel you.
Guess what? Get off your ass and do something.
Make it
Just
happen.
make it happen. Just make sure it's positive and something that you really want to do.
Exactly.
That's all I gotta say.
I love it. I love it. So you can either be the person that allows life to happen to you, or you can be the person that makes life happen for you.
Oh,
This has been another wonderful episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton.
Straight fuck through the shit, baby. You know the shit from the beginning.